Alrighty, what is up everybody? Pretender here, back with another Honkai Startup guide, and as I have posted, or if you've seen it on the official post, the next event will be the Garden of Plenty. The Garden of Plenty will just be a Calyx event for double drops for a limited time, as it does say there. Garden of Plenty event, Calyx drop rate doubled for a limited time, event period, and how long it lasts for. I know I'm not showing it in game because it is currently not actually out, but by the time you're seeing this video, I have it scheduled to write as recent hits for all servers. The event will already have been out or be out. So by the time you're seeing this, it is out currently. And so today I'm going to be giving you some help and some decisions on what you probably want to be going ahead and farm. Before I get into the video, if you guys could drop a sub, turn on the bell icon real quick for future videos like this, along with other types of guides, news, summons, all that kind of stuff, and let's get straight into the video. So let's first talk about Calyx Golden and if I would or wouldn't recommend it. For light cone materials with doing this one, I honestly don't know how many people actually do struggle with light cone materials. For the most part, personally, I never have ran out of these, but there obviously are some people that probably have. So I would honestly, when it comes to these, mainly focus on books. I know I would say credits, but for the most part, I feel like books are the most valuable because books can be harder to get. There are so many characters, especially with all the characters coming out, such as Aventurine, Robin, Boothill, Acheron, Aventurine again, because you know Aventurine's him. I'm biased, so I'm saying him twice. All those characters coming out. We just had Black Swan with Donheng, and then into Sparkle with Jingwan. All that stuff. There's so many good characters that are coming out or returning. God forbid they're rerunning Fushuan or something. And a lot of people said something for that, so there's just a lot of people probably have a drought of books. So books are not a bad idea to farm if you need them. The only way I would recommend credits is if you are like completely out, but you have a bunch of characters you want to build, because I'd mainly focus on these because you can get credits a little more passively compared to books and such like that, in my opinion. And so I would get credits only if you think you have enough of the Calyx Crimson, the materials I'm about to get into, and if you have enough books / Lycon materials. For the most part, you don't have to focus on credits, but if you really have nothing you want to farm, or you're mainly just waiting on a future character that you've already pre-farmed, such as Acheron, credits is not a bad idea. Moving on to the actual Crimson materials. So let's start off with the upcoming characters here. So as you do see, we have Acheron next, then Aventurine, then Robin, then Boothill. Starting off with Acheron, Acheron is indeed pre-farmable. Because Acheron is a Nihility character, you can actually pre-farm her with the Nihility materials for traces in Penacony. This is already available to pre-farm, so if you are looking for Black Swan materials or Acheron materials, because Black Swan also came out, which is the reason this is out, her being Nihility lets you farm for both of them. Black Swan being really good with Acheron and just a very broken unit in general. Getting those two characters up is a very nice value. So being able to do this is really nice. For our Aventurine bros, we are sadly suffering. We cannot pre-farm Aventurine's materials because if we do, go ahead and go over to the preservation. We don't actually have anything for preservation in Penacony yet. This will most likely change once Acheron and 2.1 does drop. We will probably get the opportunity to farm them, but by the time Penacony does drop, this event will already be over. So for the most part, you don't have to worry about pre-farming Aventurine, sadly. Trust me, I wish I could pre-farm him too. I want to max out that guy day one. As for Robin, as we do see, she is Harmony, and thankfully, Sparkle, who is also Harmony that just came out, just had the Penacony materials updated for the traces, so you can use the bonus drops on the traces, getting the easier ones. If you do also have Sparkle, you can farm it for Sparkle too, who is also a broken Harmony support. So again, getting best out of two worlds for this. Just like Aventurine, for Boothill fans, me included, we cannot farm Boothill just yet because right now we don't have the hunt stuff, we just have the regular ones. You will have new Penacony ones for when 2.2 drops. Maybe 2.1, I doubt it because they are probably going to follow the condition of how they had Black Swan being Nihility, that's why this has a stage, and Sparkle being Harmonious with this stage. Acheron is Nihility, so this is going to stay the same, most likely. And Preservation is probably going to be added for Aventurine. Simon's in 2.2, Harmony is already added, and they will probably add one for the hunt for Boothill. So for Boothill fans, we also cannot just farm him yet. And now, going besides the new characters, some characters you could consider getting up now. What are really good characters you can farm? Obviously, you're going to take the selection of the main characters you do want to get them up, and now you're going to consider the teams. If you don't already have Acheron team ups, if you don't already have the other units on Acheron's team up, such as Silverwolf, Pela, Welt, all that kind of stuff, Nihility, regular might be a really good option for you. Vice versa, if you want to run a optimal Aventurine team with a follow-up team, he is a preservation unit, so he's going to be pretty universal. The flop team for him is going to be Topaz, Ratio, and Aventurine. So Topaz and Ratio being Hunt, you can farm the Hunt materials. And then besides that, you would pretty much just want to go after who your main DPS is and all that stuff. Maybe a lot of you don't have your traces max. So for the most part, you would practically just want to look at units you are currently using and units that you think you'll summon for. If you have that down, you pretty much want to focus on units that you might not be replacing, such as someone like Silverwolf. Now, let's say you have Silverwolf, not too leveled up in traces. You have a Mono Quantum team and you're using her on Mono Quantum team. Now, consider the fact that you might, if you are someone that is going to be summoning on Acheron. So that means Silverwolf is going to definitely be a character you want to get up, because now leveling her up makes her really powerful for your Mono Quantum team. Not only that, now she's an insane partner for your Acheron team. So now you're getting best out of both worlds. So mainly, definitely look at units that will benefit your account overall. Focus on characters like sustain and support. DPSs also get a massive bonus, obviously, but I would personally recommend going for your supports, sustains, harmony supports, all that kind of stuff, just because they will be more universal, less centered around one team, be able to be used just anywhere pretty much. You leveling up one of your best abundance characters, let's say you have Huofo, who isn't like completely leveled right now, you level her up and now you have a sustained unit for practically any team you want to put her on. Big W. Same with if you have Fushwan. If you don't have her traces up to max, I would definitely recommend getting her up, because Fushwan is just broken and brokenly universal. So having her at max talents will do you a lot more good than most of the units you can get up. And obviously, if you are set for some of your supports, or they're at least 8 to 9 talents for their skill, trace, ultimate, whatever that is important for them, then you can go ahead and focus on some DPSs. Like I mentioned, Aventurine Flop team, Topaz, Ratio are going to be great. So farming Hunt to get their stuff up for damage output is going to be really good. If you're running someone that is like a center team, like one DPS type deal like Acheron or Mono Quantum with Zayla or QQ, Zayla, you'd probably want to have her higher talents just so you can have good output, because you only have one DPS, and besides that main DPS, you wouldn't be able to DPS output more. And so you mainly focus on getting Hunt up because you want to have your Zayla at enough of a level where she can dish out damage. Take that same thing for QQ. And now if you go on to Acheron, Acheron will be the center DPS, unless you're running a E2 sub DPS Silverwolf or a Weld sub DPS. I'm just going to assume you're not running a DPS support, so I'm just going to say you have a E0 supporter debuffer Silverwolf and a Pela. Let's go with that. And then your sustain unit is just Fushwan. Acheron will be your center damage dealer, so you definitely want to focus on getting her good and high up in the trace levels. But that still doesn't mean neglect the other characters, because if you level up someone like Pela's ult, you'll get a better lower on defense to the enemies with her ultimate. And so yeah, that is sort of how you want to go about choosing what you want to do, because some people will be overwhelmed because there's a bunch of options you can do. So mainly, if you do have a bunch of characters, I would sort of ignore this, because these, you can farm them at any time, just like these ones. But trace materials drops are honestly terrible, so I definitely would make use of this event now, just because it is double drops. So getting a bonus out of the trace drops will be great, just because, again, overall the trace drops are pretty bad. For the credits, the amount you get at higher levels is really nice. Like, I'm at Trailblazer 70 and I get 24,500, which is really good. For books, I don't remember how much you actually get, but you get an okay amount, and same with the Lycon stuff. So these you can pretty much just like farm whenever. It doesn't even have to be doubled. You still get a good amount off the other double. But for these ones are honestly brutal, unless you're getting insanely lucky and getting like 2 purple drops per. If you guys remember that Genshin talent book hell, it's the same here. It's just honestly just as bad. It is terrible, so I definitely would recommend going for this. So yeah, let me know if you guys found the video helpful, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.